All right, so you've probably had this exact experience, right? You give an AI this super specific, really carefully crafted request. You lay it all out, the audience, the goal, the tone. I mean, you give it everything it needs to come up with something sharp and, unique. And in your head, you're thinking of the AI as a collaborator, a partner, right? Something that's going to take your unique context and whip up something that's made just for you. So, there it is. You've given the AI your perfect prompt. You've set the stage, you've made a very specific request, and now you're waiting for an equally specific result. And this is what comes back. I mean, it follows your instructions, sure. It's professional, but it's also just completely generic. It's not wrong, but it has zero punch. It just feels bland, kind of one size fits all. And again, it's not technically wrong, but that special angle you were hoping for, it's just not there. You're left with this weird feeling, this mismatch between how specific your prompt was and how generic the answer is. And that right there, that's the core confusion. It feels like you put in these high-quality specific ingredients, but what came out was just average. So you're left wondering, what on earth just happened? Well, here's the surprising part. This isn't a bug. It's not a failure. That totally average response you got, that's actually a core feature of how the system is designed. Okay, so to really get why this happens, we have to wrap our heads around something pretty fundamental. The system isn't actually trying to do what you think it's trying to do. It has a completely different goal. And this is really the heart of the matter. Your goal is to get a unique, sharp response. But the system's goal? It's trying to find the most probable, the most safe response. It's looking for the common denominator. This all comes down to a statistical idea called regression to the mean. Now, what does that mean? Basically, the system is hardwired to pull its answers toward the statistical average of all the stuff it was trained on. So the main objective, the thing it's really built for, is to achieve average accuracy. It needs to be reliable for millions and millions of users. So it's always going to prioritize a dependably correct answer over a creatively brilliant one. And this hidden goal, this focus on predictability instead of personality, it creates this really fundamental trade-off that's happening under the hood. Yeah, every single time the system goes for that safe, average response, there's a give and take. Something is gained, for sure, but something is always lost too. So what do we gain? Reliability. That's the big one. By sticking to that statistical middle ground, the system gives you answers that are consistent and stable. It's basically designed to stop itself from spitting out something totally bizarre or just plain wrong. And what do we lose in the process? Uniqueness. To get that reliability, the system has to sacrifice all the good stuff, the nuance, the specificity, that little spark of originality that makes an idea actually pop. You know, this is a classic engineering trade-off. The system is designed to be a little more biased toward the average so that it can be less variable, meaning it makes fewer random errors. It's a calculated choice. Be dependably average rather than take a risk on being unique. And that trade-off right there, that is the exact reason you get that generic feeling from the output. It's the system picking reliability over uniqueness every single time. Okay, so let's circle back to our original confusion, but with this new idea in mind. The system didn't actually ignore your details. Not at all. What it actually did was use your specific words, SaaS CEO, mid-size company, operational inefficiencies. It used them like coordinates on a map to find the statistical center of all the other emails just like it that it was trained on. So that generic email you got back, that wasn't a failure of understanding. It was a successful mission to find the average. It delivered the perfect statistical mean of every similar email out there. And that's what solves the mismatch. You see, your gut feeling, your intuition expects a creative partner. But what the system actually is a giant, powerful averaging engine. So let's put it all together. Once you realize what the AI's real goal is, that average feeling you got, well, it suddenly starts to make a whole lot of sense, doesn't it? The system wasn't being lazy, it wasn't being uncreative, it was doing exactly what it was built to do. It treated you like the average of everyone else, because finding that average is its #1 job. It's not a personal assistant, it's a global optimizer. And that, right there, is why your very specific request got a very average answer.